We've all seen lots of writing advice online, right? Oh, this tip will be great. It will help you so much. And a lot of times they aren't helpful. Why? Because writing pros don't have the same insight to where you are as your peers who are at the same spot in the writing process and journey as you are have. So today I'm going to be sharing 5 writing tips, and down below you'll find a link to even more than that on my website. All right, so today I'm giving you some writing tips from some people who are members of Write Your Book Nook, which is my free coaching group on Facebook. So the link is always down below in the description of the video. Every video has that link to it. So if you like these tips, if you'd like a community where you can post questions about your work in progress, like, oh, I'm stuck on this, those are always welcome and approved by the admin. And if you just want a place where you can commiserate with other people who know what it feels like to be in the middle of writing a story and all that goes with it, because the normal people, as one of the members said the other day, don't really get it, because writers, as you know, are above normal. All right, so the first tip is from Nancy. And she says, if an idea grabs you and won't leave you alone, daydream about it. Then see it through. So a great way to make sure that an idea has enough meat to make a whole story is to dream about it, to daydream about it. If you're someone who is more visceral, wants something written down, I love to write what if statements. Well, what if this happens? And what if this happens? Well, what if she says that? Oh, what if he does this? Da da da. And fill up as many notebook pages as I can with those what ifs. So that's a great tip. So the next tip comes from Cheryl, and she says, write anywhere and everywhere. And in case you've heard that one before, even 15 minutes on a bathroom break is enough to get words down. So I have seen plenty of other writers say even 10 minutes is enough time to write something when you have it in your head what you want to write. So if something, a scene is juggling at you and wants to be written, take a break from your job and write it. Let it flow out. You don't have to write it in the same order as where it's going to appear in the book. Usually when a scene is in your mind, is fresh in your mind, that's the time. Strike while the iron's hot is that idiom that goes with that. Another great tip is to sympathize with all of your characters, even the villains. I took a really great workshop from Kristen Lamb before about the big baddie, and how to make sure that you have one who's realistic and relatable, just like all your other characters, because evil just for the sake of evil doesn't really resonate in the same way that a villain who we might believe that, okay, I can understand that. So like Mr. Freeze from one of the old Batman movies, right? He wanted to save his wife. That's why he was robbing all the banks of the diamonds, because diamonds are what powered the machine that was keeping her alive. So you can kind of commiserate with that, right? Understand, I'd want to save my wife too. All right, the next tip comes from Tanya, and she says, find what works for you in the creating a story or process, whichever it is, and follow that rather than changing your process based on what other writers say works for them. So this is a hard one when you're first starting out. If your process doesn't feel awesome, doesn't feel streamlined, doesn't feel like it is the best it can be, well, then maybe you do want to listen to other people and change it up and try out their tips. But if your process is working and you're getting words down and you're finishing stories, then don't change it because someone says, oh, you should write from the middle. I remember when that was the new thing that came out, and it was James Scott Bell who said it. And I went and listened to his thing and read the little book that he had on it and everything, because I love James Scott Bell. But I went, why? I have a process that works for me. Why am I trying to change it with this? My process works. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. Wow, idioms right and left. That's crazy. And one that I especially love is to read your dialogue aloud. And that's because your ear knows what good dialogue sounds like. And that one actually comes from John Steinbeck, or he is one of many authors who said it. So remember, if you want to get more tips, down below I have posted the link to the blog on my website that has, I don't remember how many, but quite a few. And it also asks for you to comment on what your best tip is. So if you have a great tip for writers, drop it in the comments here. Or if you especially liked one of these tips and found them helpful, comment about that below. So I hope to see you in Write Your Book Nook and offer you up even more tips.